Hello, everyone. Do not adjust your monitors. The Nicole and Craig show has been upgraded. We've got TVG herself over here, Traci Van Gundy, and she is here to help us talk to you about, you need more business? We got some ideas for you, right?
We do have some ideas.
How many ideas do you think we got, Traci?
Well, we're going to do 5, but I guarantee it'll turn into 6 or 7.
Ooh, it's
with
gonna
the way
multiply.
our conversation's going.
I like it. I like it. All right, so you need more business. Craig and TVG here to help you. We're going to go straight into number 5. Number 5 is, I love this idea. This was Traci's idea.
This is my favorite.
New construction, do open houses. Tell me more about that, Traci.
So for me, that's how I got into this business, was new construction. So that's where most of my business comes from. A lot of people think, okay, well, I don't have new construction on my team or where I work, so how do I get into open houses? I tell people, depending on what your brokerage says, who you work for, reach out to agents that do. A lot of times they need coverage in their open houses. I mean, I can't be there every weekend. I like when people cover open houses, and with the way that the market is, there's not a lot of model homes right now. So if there are, go sit in on it, because you're going to get a lot of buyers. These people from Illinois are running out here to do, any open house they can get their hands on seeing, which if you look in the MLS right now is probably less than 10.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I honestly, I think this is our number 1 tip, really. This should be the number 1 tip. Okay, because if you didn't catch the important thing that she said right there, she said, hey, even if your office, your team, yourself, whatever, you don't have any new construction, she said it's not offensive to reach out to one of these brokers. Now, check with your managing broker in case, if, like, for instance, Traci's at McCauley, so let's say if you call, and let's say you're at Coldwell Banker, let's say, and you want to do an open house for a McCauley agent or something, just double check with your managing broker and make sure that's okay.
Right.
Most independents will have no issue with that. Some franchises might have a franchise agreement where you are not supposed to do that.
Right.
But anyway, ask your managing broker, but I think it's a good thing. But again, the important thing is you never know unless you ask, right?
Right. Well, 9 times out of 10, not to cut you off, Craig, but you
did, but whatever.
I did. I'm really good at that. He's like, all right, you're off. No more shows. So when I first started doing it, I think this is what brought me business, was you're branding it for your own. It's not like you're like, hey, I'm going to sit down on this open house that's Traci Van Gundy's. You're just going to basically go in there and, do a video, do your marketing on, for your sphere, bring in your audience there. But, brand it your own, make it your own. You're only making more marketing for that builder, and they're going to like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I would say another thing, if you're out and about on a weekend, a Saturday or Sunday, we work weekends, right? We're realtors.
We don't
even
weekends.
have weekends.
We're a cell phone plan. We work nights and weekends, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're out, let's say you're out and there's a new construction house with a builder sign in the front and there's no one there and it's open, it's not, call that builder and say, hey, can I open house your property?
100%, and they will love that.
Yeah, and they'll love it. Honestly, that's how I got new construction business earlier on in my career, was just by going and calling every builder with no, make sure there's no realtor sign in the front yard.
They love it. They do.
They love it.
Because if they're not contracted to it, they get to know you first and see, like, hey, can I trust him? And then next thing you know, boom, you probably got a couple listings.
And what I like is you're bringing value to that builder. It's like, hey, your house is sitting empty right now. You can't walk any buyers through.
Right.
I would say there's a parade of buyers running around this neighborhood right now. Give me the code. I'll open it. I'll try to sell this property for you. Will you do, work out a commission agreement or something like that? There is in our zip forms, there's a for sale by owner / builder compensation agreement.
Yeah.
I recommend that. Talk to your managing broker. Don't do one-day listings, everyone. It's old school and it's not. It creates an agency relationship. That's another show.
That's
TVG
another
and
show.
I talked about
I did want a show like that. I do, but that's another day.
She was like, let's talk about FSBO builder compensation agreements. I'm like, look, no, we're not going to do that.
One thing at a time.
Yep. So I think we beat number 5 into the ground, but I think it's that important. Talk to builders. That's how you go get new construction, and they're building inventory, which is what we need.
Yeah.
Any builder's house that's not open on a weekend is a waste of. It's just a waste.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times what these builders will do is, some take contingencies, some don't. But if there's a period where they're at a point where you can do open houses and it's not 100% complete to closing, they're in a hot subdivision, a newer subdivision, the traffic's in there anyways. Why don't you just, ask if you can do an open house on a home that's already sold, that's not complete yet, enough in there. There's maybe some cabinets and stuff, and, put your sign out front, put your name.
Yeah, and I always remind, especially newer agents, because newer agents really, you don't have a lot of sources of business yet and things like that.
There.
Yeah, and it's like, work for it. You know, if you had a, like, here's what I always tell everyone: if you can't be your own boss, you're going to go back to someone else being your boss.
You're not going to be full time in this. That's 100% accurate.
So if I was out there and a new agent comes to me and says, "Hey, Craig, I need more business," and I say, "Why are you in the office right now? Go out there, start calling every builder sign." There's tons of new construction neighborhoods in like the Gates.
There is a lot.
Even in Maryville, there's one or two.
Maryville, I have 2 right now that weren't marketed at all on the MLS, but I'm doing another subdivision in Hobart.
Yeah.
So I'm said, hey, you know, like, why don't I do some open houses in your models that are sitting there, not on the MLS? And it's brought in quite a bit of traffic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Or go
Make
back.
it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Cheers.
Cheers to Red Solo Cup.
Water. All right.
What's the next one? We skipped
Jesus
1, 2,
got a hold of this water?
It's the Butterkreis.
John, leave it in there. John, get your hands off that edit button.
He told me he wanted me to John today, but I know that's his thing. That's his calling.
Give
So
us a John.
I don't have it in me.
John! Try that.
Maybe after a couple sips of water, I'll get a good John.
You gotta get a scratchy voice. John! Sorry, everyone. Sorry. All right.
John, do you answer? Are you there? I feel like this is like the Wizard of Oz. You're not
Well,
seen.
there really is no John. I just say John all the time. There really is no
made
John.
up. Okay.
Shout out to John.
Wizard
All the
of
fake
Oz.
Johns out there.
John Doe. It's literally John Doe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next one.
Number 4, sphere of influence. What about it? Who cares? Everyone knows about calling their sphere, right? Guess
Yeah.
what? Nobody calls them.
No one does.
No one does it.
Are you guilty of it?
Guilty as charged.
We all are.
Yeah.
We are.
Yeah.
But it does work. I mean, those are the people that contact you for advice on it, and they're the ones who refer you.
I'm going to give you 2 tips with your sphere, okay? Number 1, if your sphere, let's say a lot of people are sitting on money right now because they don't know what to do with it. You know, some people are still making money. You can't go out and spend it like we used to and things like that, except for, every Amazon trucks don't even make stops anymore. They just stop at every address and deliver goods,
This is true.
It cracks me up. I love it. But anyway.
Guilty.
So call them and say, hey, were you thinking about getting into some investment property? If someone owns an investment house right now, you got an uncle that has an extra house or something like that, or an aunt or whatever, ask them to sell it. It's the highest sales prices we've ever seen historically.
I've had 2 people that were
now.
renting do that same thing.
Yeah.
Hey, is it more beneficial for me to sell? Yes. Yes,
it is. And you can say, hey, I don't know what the market's going to do tomorrow, but I know right now you're going to get top dollar for it. Do you want to get top dollar now, or do you not?
Yeah. Do you or do you not?
I mean, how high can prices get? You know? So anyway, you almost have to have like a 6-figure job to have like an entry-level 3-bedroom, 1-bath house now, It's crazy.
Scary. Especially when you see these offers. Do you get nervous?
Yes.
I'm like, hey, appraisal's coming. Let's just...
Well, I just that's my biggest thing right now. I tell agents, I don't want to hear it's not going to appraise. I don't want to hear that at my company whatsoever, because we've seen the dumbest things appraise out, and we've seen things that we never would have experienced or considered that wouldn't appraise out.
Would even happen.
And it comes
like
in
it
low,
is.
and it's like, it's ridiculous.
You don't know. It's a gamble.
Be careful, agents saying that.
But it's worth a gamble.
Yeah, you're not, unless you're an appraiser. We all have the same license, appraisers and realtors.
We're all on the same showing assess.
Yeah, we use the same showing app. We have the same skills. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't say that. He did not say that. He's not a lawyer. He's not an appraiser.
Yeah. Anything I say that contradicts what your managing broker said, default to your managing broker. This show is just what do we say?
Nicole's
This show
so
is just
regretting
satire.
me being on here. I'm such a bad influence.
Yeah, that's fine. Nicole's doing what we
wish we were doing.
2 shows ago, we did a show about unwinding, avoiding burnout, and one of the things was going on vacation.
Which is true.
Which
she
she's not
deserves
on a
it.
vacation. She is at a seminar in a nice warm climate.
With a beach.
With a beach.
A beach does make work easier.
It makes it a lot easier.
And a waitress.
And a waitress.
Yeah, there's waitresses there.
Catering.
All right. So that's number 4. I don't know. Did I give the 2 tips? One was call people, see if they want to buy.
Well, your
investment
sphere,
property.
really, reach out, because
Yeah.
people are sitting on money. Yeah, 100%. They'll make their money's worth, even if they weren't thinking of selling.
And I will give you a tip, too. When I used to call, when I would call my sphere, I hate bait and switch so much.
Yeah.
So, and I was trained, this is Mike Ferry's, recommendation, so I won't say I invented this or anything like that. But what he would do is he would call and I would say, let's say you're my cousin, right? So I'd call, hey, Traci, hi, it's Craig, how are you? Great. Hey, I've got a business question for you. Do you have a minute? And she's going to say, of course, Craig, what is it? And then I'd say, who do you know looking to buy or sell a house in the next 7 to 10 days? I don't know. And then you always push that. That's called the reflex no.
Yeah.
So you always push one more question. I say, okay, great, but can you think of anyone at work or school or whatever, whatever.
Anyone talking about it?
Church, whatever. Do you know anyone thinking about it? And then usually then they will really think about it. And then they'll say, oh, actually, yeah, my nephew or my aunt.
Had a conversation last week. Yeah.
And then they'll do that. If they say no to both of those, then you can say, okay, great. Now that we got that out of the way, how's Billy doing? Or how's Uncle Steve? Or whatever. Then you go into that. If you do it the other way, like, oh, hey, how's it going?
It
how's
seems
the
more
kids?
personal.
How's work? And they're like, they answer all that. And then I go, oh, by the way, who do you know thinking about it? And then they're like, you didn't care about Uncle Steve.
You tried to get really quick through that family question just to get to that.
You just wanted to get to business. I'm not trying to put gas in your Lexus, Craig.
No offense to Uncle Steve.
Yeah. No offense, Uncle Steve. I don't care, Uncle Steve.
But
whatever.
He's right,
I don't
though.
Talk to you for a reason, Uncle Steve.
No, not giving me any business. I don't either. But he is right. I mean, I've been in conversations even when you're out to dinner with some friends. If you give yourself that time, like he's talking about, you do get business if you go out. Just give yourself a break and go out to dinner. A lot of times people are like, you're sitting here talking about how the market's so great. What would my house sell for? Do you think right now? Well, then you tell them. They have a couple cocktails. They get excited. They're like, wow, honey, $100,000 more than I thought. Well, then all of a sudden you get a listing out of it. I've had that happen lately.
Yeah,
people list their house that they didn't intend to.
It's that easy.
Yeah.
Just ask the question, right? And then ask one more question. Always push past the reflex no.
What's the second question?
That's it.
That's it. Okay.
Oh, well, ask a second question, a follow-up question.
Just to not sound like
no
it's
matter
just
what
that.
they say. Yeah, it's like, hey, it's like you walk into a department store, and then they're like, hey, can I help you find anything? And I'm like, and most everyone says no.
Yeah.
But you don't know where anything is in that store.
That's true. I say no just to keep them away from me, but then,
Not me. I'm the worst. When I
you?
walk in
Do
there,
you have a
I'm like, yes, I need your help. I need a shirt. I need some socks, and I need a belt. And like, you're my.
And here's my size.
Yeah, I'm like, you're my shopper now until I leave this store.
You asked me.
You messed up.
This is true.
And they're like, oh, no one ever says yes to that.
So listen to Greg, not me. That's good advice.
John, hey John, can you see if the Craig and TVG show is available on to rent or to get the domain? Sorry, Hanson, you're out.
This is a fun show, Hanson.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's right. Hanson is
I know you're mad at me. I haven't picked up that furniture in like 7 years, but
she actually asked me to bring it here today, and I was like,
here's the thing that's funny. She told me, by the way, I think that was her in. I think that was your in to get me on the show. Craig's bringing your furniture.
Yeah. Guess what? Oh, I forgot it.
Sure. There's a round 2.
All right. Speaking of round 2, number 3 expired. You like that segue? John, was that a good segue? Thanks, John. Oh, you're not allowed
so
to talk,
professional.
John. Edit
We
yourself
just said
out.
there wasn't a John.
I'm just kidding.
Edit.
Yeah. No,
we
there
thought
is
we'd
a-
be
there
editing
is a
because of
John.
me.
There's no edits because John doesn't like to do editing, and quite frankly, we don't pay him enough to do the editing. So
He is listening. When you said John, he answered. That's
Oh,
good to
John's
know.
awesome.
I was
John-
nervous he wouldn't be listening if I said anything.
Oh well,
That was
it
my
always falls on
fear.
deaf ears. John's like, I'm just doing this as a courtesy anyway. I hate you guys. I hope this show's over soon.
He's like, it was really quiet in here. I was
All right.
bored.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. He tried to get to 3.
Number 3.
I do like number 3. I don't know what that is.
Number 3. I know I couldn't. Well, I did this. Is that 5? Is that I don't know. Anyway, whatever.
For the people on the left.
Everyone cover one eye. All right, go ahead, Tracy. What's the next one? Number
3, expired's, canceled, withdrawals. Yeah.
Oh, do not call withdrawals. That's my.
Do not call
That's my.
withdrawals.
Okay.
That was
here's
yours.
the difference between, and again.
I said canceled, but explain
Yeah.
withdrawals because maybe there's like a
Okay.
little bit of confusion on that too.
The difference between a withdrawn and a cancel is very important, first of all. Second of all, third of all,
We'll go with
fourth of
that.
all,
Yeah.
here's what I'm going to say. When a listing is canceled, okay, we sign a mutual release, right? There's
Yeah.
2 boxes right now on our form. One says, like, we're out, you can go list with another broker, you can do whatever you want. You're not bound by the terms of this contract any longer.
Correct.
The other one says, by the way, like let's say hypothetically you signed a 6-month contract, whatever the contract was, and let's say you went 2 months, and it says we're taking you out of the MLS, we're taking you out of off the market. You will not be an active property for sale anymore. However, you still need to abide by the terms of the contract, so you have another 4 months to wait.
Correct.
Before you can relist it. When you check that second box that I'm talking about, I don't remember if it's the first or second, but anyway, if you check that box, that is known as withdrawn. It'll show up withdrawn in the MLS, and you cannot technically, you're not allowed to talk to that owner
I mean, if they call you, you can.
It's like a do not call list, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that is that's another broker's client until that contract expires.
Okay.
Canceled is they check the other box that says you're out. You can list with another broker today, tomorrow, whatever. So a canceled are perfectly fine.
Which I feel like there's lots of canceleds now
Yeah,
because of last
canceled.
year.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, go after those old expires.
Yeah.
They still want to sell. I recommend door knocking them. I don't like a lot of the services that will get you phone numbers. The tough thing about it is, look at it now. Like, look, I look at my house. Okay, I've got myself, my 2 sons are there. They both have cell phones. One of them has a tablet. I have a tablet.
My daughter's
I have
3
a cell
and has
phone.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like if you were to look me up or my address, any phone number associated with me, I probably have 8 phone numbers.
Yeah.
And really only
You're
one
calling
of them is
calling a
gonna be my phone.
12-year-old or yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to piss someone off, be a mail agent and call some guy's 13-year-old daughter. Do that and just wait for your managing broker to call you with the complaints.
Probably won't get many referrals there.
Yeah. It's weird. Don't do it. Yeah, but anyway, go door knock. Give him a card.
It is true. I didn't really think of that, but people
Yeah.
do want personal. I mean, that's why some agents, people knew. They're like, well, how is this person doing better than this person? The business, it's so busy right now. Why isn't everyone making the same amount? You got to be personable and you get your face out there, and not to say be pushy, but in a way, you got to be a little pushy. You can't be shy.
You got to work. I mean, if you had an 8-hour job and you hated it, you're going to hate every hour of that 8-hour job. You could be like John. I mean, he hates every hour. He's got to deal with idiots like me.
And now TVG, which he thought it was
TVG.
exciting for a guest.
She doesn't even go by Tracy. I'm just TVG.
John didn't even know that was my name.
Yeah, John didn't even know. So anyway.
Yeah, back to what we were talking about.
So do you want to love part of your job, be a realtor? Yeah. But you got to work.
You
get
do.
out there and do
It's
something.
true.
If you're sitting there watching TV at home, it's the wrong answer.
It's not going to come to you, that's for sure.
And no, I'm watching the news. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, you don't need the news. Social media tells you the news
What,
lately.
do you want to eat or watch the news?
You want to eat?
You want to make or you want to be the news or watch the news?
Because
All right.
I'm going to stop there.
Let's keep going.
I almost had to have an edit. Okay.
All right. Now this is the middle of the show. John's not editing anything in here. All right.
Too late, can't turn back. But I do agree, canceled. And not to go back on that, but a lot of people, even my clients, I had clients that, were like, hey, last year in 2020, I don't want to show until we know what's going to go on with this coronavirus. I don't want anybody in my house. And, after a certain period, you're like, well, I don't want to have now on the MLS, you can't have the house off the market for so long for showings. So not off the market, but you can't have no showings. So a lot of those people that are in canceleds from last year probably are looking into, selling again now that life's somewhat normal.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's a touchy topic, I guess.
I heard they're going to let go of the mask mandate next or in a
April
couple
6th,
weeks.
they said.
I get my second COVID.
How'd your
vaccine
first go?
shot. If first was
Did
easy.
you get sick?
No.
That's good.
No, I will say this. My arm where I got the shot was really sore.
Yeah.
Like a lot more sore than any other shot I've ever got.
Yeah,
But
they say that.
yeah, it was only sore for maybe 2-3 days, whatever. It was fine.
That sounds better than 14 to 17 days of COVID.
Oh, yeah.
I lived
Yeah,
that.
for sure. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah. It was intense.
Man. I'm a germaphobe, too. Now
yeah.
that's with me the whole time.
I already
now.
had it.
I'm already starting to feel...
We are not 6 feet, and it is not April 6th.
starting to feel COVID-ish.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna go sit with John.
I'm just kidding. John, you got company coming. All right. Finally, I can do the Craig show like I always wanted. No, I'm just
That was his
kidding.
goal.
Numero dos.
This is your topic.
Fizbos.
I need you to teach me on some of this, so I can
Oh,
reiterate this. Teach me
Yeah.
on these FISBOs.
I love for sale
I've
by
done a
homes.
couple. I have, but
Yeah.
teach me your ways.
They're an excellent source of business, and here's what I love about them. We want to sell their house.
Mm-hmm.
They want to sell their house. We have that in common.
Sure.
I've had most for sale by owners I've worked with are fantastic. They're trying to make a little
Right.
extra money on the house.
That's why they didn't want to initially
Yeah.
use us. Sure.
I will say this is such a weird market right now.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of for sale by owners underpricing their houses.
And it's sitting there.
Yep.
They can't probably accommodate getting people in or, yeah.
And it's so there's been situations where I can almost add commission on top of that and still sell the house.
And make them more than what
that's
they
important.
probably were going to do without the commission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And handle all that for them. And I'll tell you what, it's kind of hard for, most of our audience are real estate agents, realtors. And
Right.
you guys know what it's like what do you think when you open up that door and the seller opens the door to let you guys walk through that showroom?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the worst.
It's because
It's the worst.
you can't do anything you'd normally be doing with your clients. It just kind of shuts off your whole
I will say this, early on in my career, that would throw me for a loop. Now, I will tell them, I will ask them to go to a different room. I will say,
Will you really?
Hey,
See, that's the thing. I've had some really awkward experiences with some sellers that were there, and I probably can't even tell them on here. It's never been good.
Really?
It's never been good.
I usually ask them to leave. I'll say,
do you?
Hey, I've been working with these clients for a while. If you don't mind, if you want to just step in the backyard or go, somewhere else, I'd like to walk them through without you, if that's okay. Here's a business card. Anything. You can give me a call if you have any questions.
Have any problems?
I always say I'll talk to your agent. If you have any questions, ask your agent, and I'll answer them right away. But I think one thing, and I think it's good because I know if I walk through with and let them explain, oh, look, I got this trim from Home Depot. And, your client doesn't care.
They don't.
They don't care.
And it might actually ruin the sale.
It might mess things up. I think on a first showing, now I will say this, on a second or third showing, sometimes if I can't get my client, if I can't nudge them to make that offer, sometimes it helps. And no one knows the house as good as the seller.
True.
So I will admit that. And don't be one of those realtors that answers questions you have no business knowing. Like, hey, did they get any seepage? I hear agents say it all the time, I don't see any signs of water. It's like, they didn't ask you.
You're not a disclosure form. Yeah. Do not.
And don't be that agent that walks them through the house and says, walk into the kitchen and go, okay, so here's the kitchen. And it's like, no, idiot. What tipped you off? The stove and refrigerator? Really?
I hate that. When I do open houses, I'm always like, listen, you can see what I can see. Go through. If you have questions, let me know, which is true. Yeah.
When I'm going through, then I'll say, hey, look, here's the appliances that stay.
Let them know what stays.
Here's your tax, stuff like that. Be helpful, I guess. Ask questions.
Don't say this is a room.
Yeah. This is the living room.
Especially in front of a seller, because they're going to go back to their agent and be like, this bozo.
Yeah.
All
right. So I think, again, for sale by owners, I got a little.
Well, not to cut you off, but clearly that's my motto because I'm
not to cut you off,
but I'm going to do it twice.
No, go ahead. We're realtors.
What's your because there's a lot of agents even that ask me that are newer. Hey, how do you go about FSBOs? Give me your tips on that.
Well,
what's the best for you? I mean, obviously, it sounds easier than it is. I mean, well,
when I talk to them,
just when you talk to them, they're always going to shoot you down with, well, I'm not giving you full commission on it. You know what I mean? Tell me that's not what they say to you.
The first thing I have to do is reassign that in their mind.
Why worth it?
Yeah, because I don't even go there. I'll ask another question like, okay, I understand that, but tell me more. Tell me why you are unwilling to pay a full commission. Is it just because you want to net the most money, or are you just mad at realtors? If I ask, no, I'm serious. I ask that question because I help them redefine everything. And then they say, well, no, I just want to
open their mind to whatever you're.
Yeah, or I just want to have enough money. And then I say, well, if I can show you how I can make the numbers work for you, with charging what I would consider a fair commission, would you be okay with that? And you still put enough money in your pocket. And then usually they won't answer that yes or no, but they'll say, well, how could you do that, Craig?
Because I've been trying. I've had it on the market,
Yeah. And then that's when I tell them, I say, you know what? Good point. I don't know that I can yet, but if you give me 5 minutes to walk through your house, I can tell you what I can sell it for.
All right.
When would be a good time for me to walk through your house? Then you basically said, hey, look, I'm not coming here to put your house in the market. I'm coming here to walk through it so I can figure out what I can sell it for. And then if those numbers work for you, we'll list it. And a lot of times when you do it in a way, it's kind of non-confrontational.
Right.
It's not just, I don't mislead for sale by owners and say, I have a buyer. Don't tell them you have a buyer in their price range unless you have a buyer in their price range, because then you're a liar. In my opinion, you probably won't make it that long in the business anyway, because you can't misrepresent stuff.
Yeah.
But I think for sale by owners are easy. And that's another thing. If you come from a place of, hey, look, I'm trying to help you. I'm seeing if we can have a mutually beneficial. Here's another thing.
Just be honest. You really have to be honest.
And here's another big thing. Most for sale by owners are willing to pay, let's say they're willing to pay 2.5%, right? So don't say I want 5 or 6%.
Don't even talk about it till you say you're going to see the house.
But you're only trying to get another 3.5% out of it. So just do that. Start with, or let's say you're willing to list it at 5%. Let's say you're really only trying to get 2.5%.
Great, because they were going to pay a buyer's agent anyhow.
So 2.5, and then I would say well, if I brought you, let's say they were asking $100,000 for the house, and I say, well, if I brought you an offer for $95,000, would you take it? And most of the time, they're in a normal market, they'd be like, yeah, of course.
Right.
And then I say, okay, well, look, let's work with this number. Let me see what I can do. And then what if I handle and take all the, the questions off your plate? I handle everything.
Paperwork and all that.
Yeah, they'll be like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then, it's you're helping them. It's more of a consultant role, and you're not just a salesperson, even though you're using some high-level sales techniques.
Yeah, I think that's a good tip tidbit, really.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
TVG, liking what Craig's
for
saying.
business, it's not even just for new agents, because I talk to so many agents that have been doing this for like 30 years, and maybe they hit a rut and they're like, well, how do you get business? It's just, times are different. Things change. You got to change with the times, really. I mean, maybe for sale by owners didn't work at one point in time in this business, and you see this now more than ever, probably for sale by owners, because the market's so crazy, and people think, well, if this realtor can sell it for $30,000 more, what I can do myself. So take Craig's advice. I agree.
And I say always carry cards on you. Never drive past a for sale by owner without stopping and offering to give them a card. That's it.
Just carry cards on you anyways. Yeah. Even if you're out
you should
to
have
eat.
cards and a pen.
I just did my mom finger.
Yeah, you better have a pen. You better have a pen all the time, too.
That's good. I don't have a pen.
What?
No.
Do you have one in your purse?
I have all kinds of things in my purse, but maybe there might be. I actually have a highlighter. I have a highlighter in there. Highlight the important things.
So I'm going to get an offer from one of Traci's clients written in fluorescent yellow.
It is yellow. It is yellow. Just got to highlight my name on my business card. That's the only important thing right now.
All right. Now, Traci, we need to get to the number one tip. This is what they've been waiting for. They didn't like hearing this Traci and Craig show all this nonsense. She even spells her. You spell your name with an I, don't you?
I'm different, yes.
Ah, geez. I got to change my phone.
Do you have it in a Y?
Traci with
you
an I?
did call me Traci. No, I think you spelled it correctly.
You can't hear
That's
when
why I
say
responded. You typed an I. You typed an I.
Oh, did I? I think I did.
I don't have my phone with me. That's impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
All right. So I did it right, everyone.
And they still don't care what we're talking about.
They're like, yeah, we really...
Get to the point, Craig.
We're really just trying to draw this out because we want to hang out with you guys more.
Notice I said get to the point, Craig. I didn't even put myself in there.
Yeah,
I'm rude.
really?
I'm a rude first time
TVG. It's first sign of the show stalling out a little bit. She's out. She's like...
It's a fun day.
John's
Everyone let us know it's fun.
Battery on this camera an hour ago. Yeah.
John, did I do good?
Oh, that was good.
I got brave.
I have that cup, but yeah, that's good.
It's so close. We talked about it earlier. I was so nervous. This microphone's right here. I said the 6-foot rule on this microphone's off.
Yeah. Well, and Hanson was using it last, so it's probably like, I don't know. It's good.
She had a COVID test before she went on vacation, so I feel better.
True.
She did say she had a little sniffle, and I was nervous to use this microphone, but
John sanitizes all the equipment in between uses. Doubt it. Okay.
I heard crickets there.
Yeah. All right, so our number one tip, and this one is a cool one too. I think Traci's tip with new construction is honestly a better, and I would strongly urge everyone to go out and just call every builder that they can get a hold of that's not represented by another realtor.
Or even agent friends that are doing new construction. They don't want to sit there every weekend. It's nice, but it just every weekend you can't.
Want a free weekend, right? You want to hang out with your family every once in a while, right?
Call me if you want to sit in an open house. That was my turn.
Watch Traci's phone is blowing up. Right?
It probably is.
Yeah. Okay. Network with lenders. There's a ton of great lenders out there. Every once in a while, they get a buyer, just like we do. We'll get clients that don't have a lender, and we can refer them.
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes they go to their lender friends without a realtor.
True.
So go after them. I was going to hiccup.
I was waiting. I thought you were going to have some great announcement. I was like, he's getting ready to just spiel out this great speech.
It's coming from the heart.
I thought he was going to bring up a lender friend and he was going to use a name. I was going to be like, watch out. Whoever that lender is, they're about to get a ton of agent phone calls.
No, you know what? Most of the time in my career, I've worked more so with sellers than buyers. So I've never been like a good target for lenders because I typically just do a lot of sellers.
Which I've learned though, even with, there's a lot of lenders out there that are willing to help agents that are selling too. I've had quite a few lenders. I don't want to upset one more than the other, so I won't say names, but I've had a couple lenders reach out to me and say, hey, look, I know you're doing more sales than you are buyers right now. I'd love to market your property and just make some pamphlets. Fairway had a good one, and I know my mutual had a good one they had sent out.
She's name dropping. I'm not going to name drop.
I didn't say names. I just said some companies because I know the agents watching have used these guys. But they'll send out, some cool marketing stuff that you could just plop on Facebook.
My buddy Kevin's over at Fairway.
Okay, we're doing some names here. We are. But listen, a lot of time we don't have time for the marketing, but it'd be great. We get it on the MLS. We're getting phone calls in or whatever. If a lender is going to offer to make some packages that you could just forward and put online, use them or print out.
Yeah.
Take advantage of your lenders.
Co-marketing stuff with you. They'll do a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah.
And I would say don't be beating up all your lenders telling them to buy, going to, buying online leads with you, especially if you've never given them any leads before.
Right. Some will.
Some will do it anyway, yeah. Hopefully it works out.
So maybe do try.
Let your lenders tell you no.
Yeah.
All right, I think
That is
Traci, I
true,
think that's
though.
it. I think we had a good.
That's
we had a
it?
good show. John, what do you think? John's shaking his head. Yeah, giving
Did
us a
Traci
thumbs
try to
up.
drag this out longer than the norm?
Yep.
Nicole's always, I always tell him Nicole's always quiet and just kind of calm.
Yep.
She's pretty calm.
She's pretty calm.
She's there to keep you in check, I feel like sometimes.
Whatever.
It's good.
She's always
Everyone
got, like,
needs that friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
Not
feel like I've
really.
been that friend today. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
Craig, tell him.
A wet blanket.
Tell
Isn't that what someone who is always trying to stop the fun?
I did not say
What a wet blanket. No, Nicole's great. She's fantastic.
We love
No.
you, Nicole. Even
Yeah.
though you're probably sunbathing and
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a little bitter about that.
Beautiful real estate seminar,
On a beach.
aka Hawaii. Right? No,
Is it Hawaii?
I think I don't know. I do know.
It's
but
not here.
I guess I didn't say that.
We're not allowed to talk
Somewhere in the
about that.
Pacific Islands. All right.
On that note, though,
On that note, shout outs to everyone. Jessica, Brad, Gail,
Angie Popovich.
Angie, yeah. Angie,
got a
nice
couple.
TikToks. We like them. Angie Popovich.
do you watch our TikToks?
Occasionally, when someone will tell me they're on, there's a good one on Facebook.
They're good.
She's so
Her
talented.
builders like reach out to her.
Yeah.
She's good.
That is cool. That is cool. I like that. But you know what I love? Here's what I love most about it is I like to have fun but be professional and know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know?
Sure.
I know every word on those contracts and stuff like that, and I think that's very important. But I also like to have fun.
Yeah.
If I'm going to
You
work,
have to.
why would I want to suffer and, I don't know. I want to have fun.
It can get boring if you let it. And that's another thing if you need more business.
Yeah.
Interact with people that are fun.
Yeah.
Not unethical, but fun.
And that's another thing, too. I have up here, ask for referrals.
Mm-hmm.
Ask everyone for referrals. Hey, who do you know looking to buy or sell a house in the next 7 to 10 days? This next 7 to 10 days, it's a subconscious way to get someone to think, just to trigger recent memories.
And maybe not
stuff
even
like that.
now, but in a couple weeks. I
Yeah.
mean, how much of your business do you think is referral?
Mine, most of all of it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Same.
I don't do a lot
It doesn't
of,
take long to get that. So for
Yeah.
people that are struggling, use some of these tips, and then eventually all those people you got from these tips is going to turn into referrals later on. I mean, I had people from open houses I never met a day in my life until they walk in the door, or same with you on a for sale by owner, and then the deal went great, and they call Uncle Steve.
Uncle Steve.
Oh, Steve.
My buddy's uncle is Uncle Steve. That's why he's a good dude.
That's why you
He's
reference
funny.
that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
there is a Steve.
Yeah, he probably doesn't watch my show anyway, so it's good.
Dang it, Steve.
All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys. Have any questions, comments, whatever? Like, subscribe, whatever else we're
Share
supposed
us
to
on
say.
TikTok, Angie.
Share us. Yeah, Angie, why don't you do a TikTok for us?
You should do a TikTok while on the Craig and Nicole
Actually,
show.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. Angie, reach
Angie's
out to us.
next.
Yeah, I want Angie on the show. I want her to do a TikTok
Yeah.
special.
It's
'Cause
like
honestly,
that-
I don't know anything about TikTok.
It's like that water challenge. Remember the bucket challenge people do?
Oh,
Now
the
it's a
ice
challenge.
one, yeah.
Angie, you're next, and you have to do a
Yep.
TikTok on this show.
TikTok challenge, Angie. All right.
Thanks for having me. It was fun
You're
today.
welcome. Yeah, thanks for coming
I
here
had
and doing
fun.
the show. Yeah, it
I had
was
fun.
great.
He's probably going to say different when I leave, but I had
Oh,
fun.
for sure.
I like John, though.
Next week's show is going to be the apology for the TVG / Craig episode.
He's going to have me blocked from the episode.
John said, Craig, I edited the show, but turns out we can't use anything. So we're out.
So it actually was the Craig show then.
Yeah. No, it's too boring if it's just me.
He said it, not
I
me.
have to give Nicole credit, or you, or anyone
Anyone who comes in here. Yeah.
If it was just a Craig show, it's just not worth watching everybody.
Well, everyone just has different tidbits. We've all been different experience. Same
Yeah.
boat, but
Maybe the Craig and John show one day.
That would
and John
be
won't
great.
be here. Just John, I just yell for him all the time. John, the meatloaf.
He'll throw a pen or something here and there. A shoe. He has a really cool shoe collection. I don't know if it's his, but
Oh, shout out to Nick's Shoes. Right?
we got lots of shout outs today.
Lots of shout outs.
Yeah.
Welcome to shout out
if
show.
if you want to shout out, DM Craig.
We should just do it as a joke one day, just do a shout out show. We're just like, okay, number 5, shout out to TVG. Thanks for doing the show.
That's
Another
fun.
one, we should do like
So
the
many
clip
ideas
show,
came out of today.
The react shows, like the Craig and Nicole react to the Nicole and Craig show from 2 years ago.
Until Nicole comes back, and then Nicole and Craig's going to be off air for a
Yeah.
couple weeks until they.
Yeah. The Nicole and Craig show broke up. Stand by for technical difficulties.
Oh, man.
All right, anyway, thank you for watching. Feel free, please share it out. No one shared it out last time. I'm pretty mad at all of you guys.
Really? No one
In fact,
shared it?
You guys, you know what? When I'm done with this video, stop watching it.
No,
Today.
don't stop watching it. I'm on it. I think this is great. I'm going to share it out and all my friends. Angie, share it. Kish, share it. Sheehan Huff, share it. She's on my team. She's great.
Yeah.
All you guys share it.
What she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Should we do a shout out to John? Shout out to John.
John on 3. 1, 2, 3.
John! Nice. That was a good one. Good harmony. Good harmony.
I got the rasp finally. It took an entire
Yeah.
show.
All right. Show's over. Thanks, everyone.